Time for another fragrance review. This is for 1 Million Cologne by Paco Rabanne. Let me get that thumbnail. That's the thumbnail right there. Let me spray some of this on. You know how Paco Rabanne had Invictus and they put out Invictus Aqua? This is almost like 1 Million Aqua. Because what they did was they added some C notes and made it more warm weather friendly. And they made it more versatile. And it's not as overpowering, as strong. So they try to make it a more versatile, wearable scent. And I believe they have succeeded in doing so. What are my initial thoughts? Similarly to the original, I'm getting a lot of cinnamon, but I'm also getting a rose floral note that's prominent, and I'm getting like a salty C note. And it's definitely a lighter, more airy version of the original 1 Million. So you still get you get that sweetness of the original 1 Million. You get the cinnamon, you get that bubblegum vibe. And we'll see how this thing performs. And I will report back to you later on tonight with a performance review. Okay, let me start by saying that the longevity is very good, but the sillage, or excuse me, the sillage is just moderate. It doesn't project like the original 1 Million. It's definitely not as powerful, and I think that was what they had in mind when they put it together. As far as the scent goes, it's just not for me. I'm not a big fan of the original 1 Million because it's too sweet. It smells like they took Calvin Klein's Obsession, which is a great selling classic fragrance and still continues to sell a lot to this day. It smells like they took Calvin Klein's Obsession, and what they did was they got rid of the lavender, which makes it smell dated. And instead of the lavender, they replaced it with like rose, which makes it lean very feminine. In essence, they took Calvin Klein's Obsession and they kind of castrated it. They took away that barbershop vibe and that lavender soapy feel, and they castrated Calvin Klein's Obsession by putting rose in it. And now this becomes a very sweet, very feminine smelling. It smells like a perfume. It doesn't smell like a cologne. That being said, when it dries down after a few hours, the dry down actually smells like body chorus from Yves Saint Laurent. It's basically benzoin and eucalyptus are the main notes in body chorus, and the benzoin's basically a very vanilla smelling scent, and the eucalyptus keeps it fresh smelling. This one, when it dries down, it smells like an inferior body chorus. I prefer the dry down of body chorus, but it's because it smells cleaner. I guess this is a dislike for me, but that's just my personal taste. As far as I could imagine, there might be a lot of people that like this because it's very pleasant smelling and it's unique smelling compared to what's out on the market. You don't get an aquatic vibe at all, even though they say there are C notes in the notes. It does have a saltiness to it. It has a saltiness to it that the original 1 Million doesn't have. And it smells a little airier and fresher and more versatile than the original 1 Million. Try before you buy. Don't you hate it when fragrance reviewers say that? Try before you buy. Because the truth is, if you tried everything before you bought it, you wouldn't need to watch any fragrance reviews. The reality is, people just want to go on a website, click a few times, and have their fragrance show up at the door. If you always try before you buy, you wouldn't have to watch any fragrance reviews. It kind of defeats the purpose of having a fragrance review. So I kind of hate when fragrance reviewers say that, try before you buy. But I'm going to have to say it right now. Try before you buy. It's different if you're a collector. I think it would be nice to have. I personally am not a collector, so I'm going to look for a place to unload this somewhere. Anybody interested in a 90% full bottle of 1 Million cologne? I'll trade you for a bottle of Old Spice. That's all I got. Thanks for watching. I'll smell you later.